Hello, I am Texter, and in today's video I will be going over the update that was released by Intrepid back in October. Like always, it was filled with a huge amount of info addressing the concerns that have been going through the community lately, as well as some Alpha 2 content with the Gathering update. So without further ado, let's get into it. There have been a ton of videos over the past month that have been discussing the pitfalls of Ashes of Creation's PvP system. Most notably coming from Lucky Ghost, where he talks about AOC's PvP flagging system and how it is subject to exploitation by griefers and how it could lead to the game's downfall. Creative director Steven Sharif covered this topic in the update, stating that AOC's flagging system was inspired by previous games of the MMO genre, and that they have improved upon these systems to further penalize griefing. Some examples are reducing red flagged players' damage, making it virtually impossible for them to be effective in PvP combat, not allowing them to interact with NPCs and vendors while they are flagged red, having up to 4 times multiplier on death penalties, as well as a mechanic where red flagged players can drop items on death. It comes down to the basic principle that Intrepid is maintaining, which is the risk versus reward system. They want there to be some element of risk in the game, that being things like contention over dungeons and world bosses and even resources throughout the world. This drives engaging gameplay and makes the reward, i.e. completing the dungeon or getting to kill the boss or get the resource, all the more meaningful. However, for players where the reward is just to make other players' gaming experience bad or trying to get them to quit the game, the goal is to make the risk so high that it becomes undesirable to the majority of players to play that way. He also states that griefing, the definition of which is someone who kills or harasses another player with the only goal to elicit anger or the desire to stop playing the game, is an actionable offense per the user agreement terms, and that they will be maintaining a team to act on these offenses once the game is released. Intrepid has also made a post on their forum stating that the status changing effects such as stuns, mana drains, silences, and fears will not have any effect on players that are not flagged purple on the PvP system. This prevents people from hindering a player's ability to play the game without also being flagged themselves as a red or purple player. Steven continued with stating that throughout Alpha 2 and the betas past that, they will be fine-tuning their corruption system to achieve the right balance of this risk versus reward mindset from the data they will be collecting during these pre-release time periods. I have to admit, I was pretty concerned on whether I would enjoy this type of system in the game after seeing such videos that Lucky Ghost and other people like him had released to YouTube. But after seeing their response from Steven and the Intrepid team, I am confident that this will be a game that most everyone can enjoy, even if they are not used to something like a centralized PvP system. Next, I was delighted to see that this update was not solely focused on PvP, as we were given a look into AOC's Gathering update. The last time we were shown this function was over a year ago, and I have to say that the progress is astronomical. They have implemented physics to everything that is gathered, which is shown with the woodcutting in their video. The trees actually have collision mechanics with the environment and respond accordingly. We see in the video where the falling trees will actually slide off rocks or down hills, and the limbs of the tree move in a lifelike manner that really add to the immersion of the gameplay. You even have dust that kind of billows up when it hits the ground. There were a few issues that I noticed that I would like to see fixed, such as having branches kind of like break off when they hit the ground or are introduced to too much stress, as well as some collision mechanics with other resource nodes. So if a tree were to hit another tree, there would be some interaction there as well. Another interesting fact that they had in the Gathering system was the fact that there will be certain times when more than one person will be needed to harvest a node. For example, a large tree needs 2 people on a saw to cut down that tree. I'm really excited to see this idea because it invokes a teamwork in all aspects of the game, including Gathering, which has never really been done before in an MMO. Gathering tends to be like a solo activity. Also, with the introduction of the surveying skill, which is a skill where players use instruments to obtain information about an area, such as the type or rarity of nodes, the number of nodes, and even their location. This really opens up our opportunities for unique gameplay, which involves entire economic guilds being formed that have a focus on gathering, processing, crafting, as well as selling their service and products. Can you imagine some of the top guilds not having any combat prowess, but pure economic power over the area? This of course could lead to alliances with other guilds as mercenaries to protect their trade routes and their products. Sheer numbers of possibilities is just astounding. Intrepid has also implemented a strategy to the gathering professions with the introduction of zone health. If an area's resources are farmed in excess, the health of the biome is affected in a negative way, which can result in increasing node respawn times, scarcity of rare materials, or even causing an area to be completely barren. Now this can be done in the opposite effect, is if something's overpopulated, you can harvest that resource in order to improve zone health as well. This even goes as far as the wildlife acting in different ways based on the resources available. Some examples are, say, an overabundance of predators are being killed for their leather. This would result in the prey population, i.e. deer and rabbits, exploding, which can have a negative effect on the vegetation of the area. On the reverse side, if prey becomes scarce due to farming, the predators will actually leave the area in search of more abundant food sources. And the realism in this mechanic is outstanding and will force players to plan their farming routes as well as the times they can actually farm. This is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the possibilities. Some outcomes we may not even be able to predict until the game is released. This monthly update is sure to spur a lot of conversation throughout the community, and I am excited to see what Intrepid has in store for us with the next monthly update. Thank you for watching. Please destroy the like button and subscribe to see my future videos. I really want to hear what you think about this update, so leave a comment below if you think you would have any fun playing in a PvX system, or maybe a type of scenario that you see could happen with the type of harvesting system that they're introducing. Also, check out my most recent video here, and I'll see you next time.